This Saturday, Nigerians will again go to the polls to elect leaders that are closer to them. We're talking about governorship and houses of assembly. But in Edo, governorship election is not due till 2024. The people will only go to the polls to elect 24 members of the Edo State House of Assembly, except on the rescheduled Eastern West and Igwebe Federal Constituency election. With lessons from the presidential election, how prepared are Nigerians in Edo for the State House of Assembly election and the rescheduled election for the Eastern West Igwebe Federal Constituency seat? And don't forget, today is also International Women's Day. We are celebrating myself and all women for their contributions and achievements in various fields. This year, the theme is Embrace Equity. It isn't a nice to have, but a must to have. So we'll also be talking a bit about women participation in politics. A very good morning to you. It's always a pleasure to have you join us on Midweek Connect. My name is Agatha Egware Ojo. Sincere apologies for coming a little behind schedule due to some unforeseen circumstances. But we thank you for your patience. We thank you for always being there for us. As always, you know, Midweek Connect is that program where you have an opportunity to call in and make your contributions on the program. Like we start always with the news tidbit. So let's hear what's happening this morning. Our senators-elect for the February 25th National Assembly election have been presented with certificates of return by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC.
To assure you of better assembly, better legislation, new idea, new bills and law to protect the life and property of our own people, to check the executive arms of government for checks and balances.
The Ninth Senate, we try to change the time frame of the budgetary period, and that can only be achieved if there's a harmonious relationship.
All right, an appeal has gone out to voters in Edo State to elect a robust State House of Assembly that will represent interests of the entire Edo people in Saturday's State Assembly elections. The appeal was made in Benin by members of organized civil society organizations in Edo State.
State House of Assembly that can represent the interests of the entire Edo people. We want a State House of Assembly that will truly make law, shaping policies, and stand tall for Edo people.
The National Broadcasting Commission (NBC) is to sanction any broadcaster that exploits peace of the nation in the name of free press. Director General of the Commission, Balarabe Shehu Ileha, stated this in a meeting with some heads of media outfits in Abuja.
In the embers of discord, disunity, inciting supporters through conveyance of subversive messages through broadcasting are not traits that can deepen our democratic culture. I'm sure you all know that.
We will never support any station causing problem or violating the codes of NBC.
And the media will continue to fight to have a just society. And it's a constitutional obligation imposed on the media.
All right, that's the news tidbits. After this break, our guests will be joining us, and then we'll get down to the business of the day. Just stay with us.
Do you live in Aduawa and its environment? Or you need a conducive and open field in Aduawa for your wedding receptions, birthday parties, annual ceremonies, family or corporate events in a serene and conducive environment that is close to nature? Then look no further. NTA Benin Aduawa is the place for you. NTA Benin Aduawa has a large field for all your other events and ceremonies. Also, at NTA Corporate Headquarters, TV Road, we have a state-of-the-art, fully air-conditioned, ultra-modern hall for all kinds of indoor events with a standby generating set to ensure constant power supply. We also have the NTA Pavilion for all your outdoors events at the same venue. Guess what? Our prices are affordable, locations are easily accessible, venues conducive and highly secure. Our outside broadcast van is available 24 hours and can broadcast your event live. And above all, you can air your event on our award-winning programs like Events and Style. Wow, what are you waiting for? Grab this opportunity and have your celebration in a grand style. For inquiries and bookings, please call NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Join us every day on NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7, VHF. Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles: YouTube, NTA Benin, Facebook, NTA Benin, Twitter, NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535 59648. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Next time you visit the ancient city of Benin, two things will excite you: the warmth and welcome of its people, and of course, the class and style of its hospitality business. Randeki Gold, home of hospitality like no other, located in one of the most serene environments in the ancient city, truly classy and exquisite with world-class facilities. Fully equipped digital multipurpose hall with life-size, ultra-high definition LED screen, 180 square meters king-size swimming pool with bubble bath, enough to leave you breathless. The exotic Ariel's Bistro and Grill restaurant with variety of continental dishes, especially some of the rarest delicacies you can find in town. Fact is, a visit will truly convince you that we are gold. Randeki Gold is the gold wing of the prestigious Randeki Royal Hotel at 6 Uhenoyi Street off Ihama and Boundary Roads, GRA Benin City. www.randekihotels.com. Randeki Gold, our hospitality is gold.
All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. The program is Midweek Connect. Today we are talking about preparations for State House of Assembly elections, governorship and State House of Assembly elections across Nigeria. But of course, in Edo State, it's only the House of Assembly elections and the rescheduled Esan West Igwebe Federal Constituency election that will be holding here. Our guest is here is Shedrack Edo, Secretary General, National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State Chapter. Good morning. You're welcome, sir.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
All right. Like always, we'll start off with the background. Let's hear this.
Nigerians went to the polls on the 25th of February this year, 2023, to elect their president and National Assembly members. The exercise has been concluded and winners that emerged have received their certificates of return. The 2023 general election has unique features and the introduction of technology. The bimodal voters accreditation system, BVAS, a new component introduced by INEC to check for authenticity of a voter through facial or fingerprint. It is also a device that sends election results electronically. The 2023 general election also recorded a large number of youth participation and first-time voters. Though adjudged peaceful in some areas, many, however, believe that the election was marred with irregularities, where the issue of BVAS functionality, delay accreditation and voting, overvoting, snatching of ballot boxes, low turnout of voters, among other irregularities, were raised. Now, there is another round of election scheduled for this Saturday, 11th March 2023, where Nigerians will still go to the polls to elect their governors in some states and houses of assembly. Midweek Connect this morning will be reviewing the last elections and matters arising.
All right, thank you for that background from Okafor to launch our discussions for today. So, Mr. Shedrack, just to let you know that we're expecting our second guest, Barrister Greg Iya. He's a legal practitioner. He will join us shortly. But let's take a review of the last 2 weeks ago, the presidential and National Assembly elections. From your end, what are the gains recorded from that election?
Thank you very much.
Firstly, let me commend the NTA for their very professional reportage. Thank you for what you do for humanity. Thank you. It is deeply appreciated.
Thank you so much.
As to the gains from the last elections 2 weeks ago, I think the level of awareness on the part of young people, the fact that young people at a point in time thought it was the time to take their destiny in their hands, to take back their country. I think that is the most significant gain that we recorded 2 weeks ago. Not minding the hiccups, the challenges experienced here and there. I think that is for me the most significant. With the last registration, we are told by INEC that young persons made up 71% of the 12 million votes, 12 million new registrations. I think that is unprecedented. I think that is for me the most significant. The level of awareness that we are beginning to experience by young people. For me, that is the most significant gain.
Okay. Now, there are some who have argued that in that last election, we saw some governors losing their states to opposition parties, even losing their aspirations to opposition parties.
Yes.
There are some who have argued that it is also a gain, for our democratic process.
Yes.
What do you think would be responsible for what we saw play out in the last election?
Absolutely. I also forgot to mention that. That is also a very significant gain. It is, for me, an indication that our democracy is beginning to mature. Okay, unlike what we had before, where we have an election, we have an entire state just go one way. It's no longer that. It's no longer like that. It is an indication that our democracy is beginning to mature. We are not there yet. Of course, we are not there yet. There's nowhere in the world where you have a perfect system, where you have everything working 100%. But of course, with these things happening here and there, is an indication that our democracy is beginning to mature, that the voice of the people is beginning to be heard. A lot of persons will not agree with me 100%. But of course, for me, I think it's an indication that our democracy is beginning to mature.
Okay. Do you see that playing out in this coming election? Do you see a show of that probably the turnout and the tilting of the votes? Do you see it playing out this election?
We would expect, we would hope, we would expect that it plays out on Saturday. We will not forget the experience from 2 weeks ago. So I'm a bit skeptical in hoping and expecting that these things will happen on Saturday. But of course, we'll keep hope alive and expect that on Saturday, these things will also play out, that our democracy will also find expression on Saturday. That is our hope.
Okay, we're talking about, of course, in any contest, of course, like we've read out the gains, there are also perhaps some negatives or some issues that were encountered in the last elections. What are those things that we can learn from? We have another elections here on Saturday.
As has always been the case, the issue of election violence, persons attempting to scuttle the process, persons attempting to one way or the other. What's the word now? I'm trying to find the word that is most appropriate. Okay, persons attempting to ensure that the will of the people do not count. Okay, that is one of the negatives that we experienced 2 weeks ago. And unfortunately, a lot of these persons are young people. And when we saw videos of these young persons losing their lives in the process, these are some of the negatives that we experienced 2 weeks ago. And of course, again, another very significant one is the failure of INEC to follow its own guidelines as to transmission of the results to the IREF portal. It's another very significant drawback that we experienced 2 weeks ago. For me, I think the most significant. All the other challenges that were mentioned, voting materials not getting to a location on time, officials not, doing what they're supposed to do here and there. for me, those are things that you experience when you organize large-scale elections like that. For me, those are things that you would expect. Give or take, it shouldn't affect the process so much. The most significant for me was the failure of INEC to transmit its result to the IRF portal. That is the most significant. And I hope, I do expect that INEC would ensure that do not repeat itself going forward. Because if it does, I'm afraid for our democracy. Okay.
Earlier, you said you made mention of the fact that some of these pockets of violence that were recorded, mainly you fingered youths in the middle of all of it. Do you think the National Youth Council is it doing enough to reach out to the youth population to perhaps disabuse their minds from the ills of violence, especially during elections?
The National Youth Council of Nigeria, it's a non-governmental body. As best as we can, over the years, we have tried to give orientation to young people as to how they act during elections, before elections, during and after elections. Before this circle of elections, we had several seminars, several symposiums to also do just that, to give orientation to young people as to how they act before, during, and after elections. I think, to the best of our ability, the National Youth Council of Nigeria, Edo State, and elsewhere, because we have it at the national, state, and local government levels.
But how do you reach out to the youth? Or how do you draw your membership? You know, is it from every strata of society, or how do you reach out to them?
It is the National Youth Council of Nigeria is a non-religious, non-sectarian organization. As long as you are a young person, it is within your rights to engage with the National Youth Council. The National Youth Council is formed from what we call voluntary youth organizations. Okay, is a gathering of organizations, youth organizations, and of course the local government chapters. We have organizations like the Man of War, we have the Scout Association, we have the Girl Guide, Boy Guide, Girls Brigade, just like that. It is these organizations that have come together to form. For instance, I'm a member of the Scout Association. I'm also a member of the Paradise Brigade. These organizations have come together to form the National Youth Council. So if you are a member of any of these organizations, you automatically have the right to engage with the Youth Council. So that's how we draw our membership. Of course, at the state level, local government chapters also form part of the membership. Okay. So it is these persons that we, from time to time, gather together to engage.
Okay. All right, I will be taking a short break. When we return, our next guest will be joining us, and we'll open the phone lines for you to call in. Do stay with us.
Join us every day on NTA Benin Network Center, Channel 7, VHF. Star Times on Channel 103. You can log on to our social media handles: YouTube, NTA Benin, Facebook, NTA Benin, Twitter, NTA Benin 1. For breaking news, call our news desk on 091 535 59648. NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
Have you any event, weddings, birthdays, parties, burial, coronations, inaugurations, cocktails, convocations, dedications, religious or corporate events, and you want to showcase in a grand style with interviews, documentaries, highlight in glamour, events and style? An NTA Benin Diary program is the right platform for a wider audience. Showing on NTA Benin and also on NTA Benin YouTube channel for viewers home and abroad to enjoy any day, anytime. Wow. Contact us today at NTA Benin Marketing Department, TV Road, Benin City, or call the number on the screen. Just let us know ahead of your program. Events and Star crew will be there no matter the distance. Events and Star, highly affordable with unlimited value.
NTA Benin, the award-winning station.
It's exciting. It's captivating. It's reviving. Guess what? It's Press Vibes on NTA Benin Network Center. Join us every Saturday at 6 a.m. and a repeat broadcast every Sunday at 12:30 p.m. Extreme praise and worship is what we do here.
For sponsorship and advert placement, please call the producer on 0803-953-0689 or contact the marketing department on the numbers on your screen.
Come, let's spread the gospel through praise.
All right, thank you for staying tuned. The program is Midweek Connect. We are doing a review of the presidential and national assembly elections and preparations for Saturday's House of Assembly election here in Edo State. Like I said, there's no governorship election here in Edo State. Our second guest is here with us, is Barrister Greg Iyayi, a legal practitioner. Good morning. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning, Agatha. Good morning, viewers.
All right. I guess we'll open the phone lines now for you to call in and make your contributions on the program just as we continue discussions here. Shortly, you have the phone lines displayed on the screen. You can call in and make your contributions on the program. So, Barrister Greg Iyayi, before you came in, we were talking about some of the gains, you know, we saw from the presidential and the National Assembly elections. Can you what are some of those gains you have seen, you know, or you saw from that elections already concluded?
I think one of the major gains is increased participation of voters, and particularly the youths. And it was remarkable, it was massive, it was impressive, and, you know, and they conducted themselves peacefully, you know, virtually all over the nation. This has been the report that youths came out, and they came out massively, impressively, and peacefully. And that is a plus for this election. And I feel that the momentum, if the election is well handled, can be sustained, and it will really mobilize our youth for participation in the events of their own country, not just election. And it will build in them the spirit of patriotism. Then we also saw that technology is good. Though the problems experienced with technology, I have my reservation. They were not technical, they were man-made, and were they actually allowed to function the way they should function, it would have eliminated the issue of multiple voting and some other malpractices in the election. And I feel that if we have invested so much money, so much time, so much effort in procuring these machines, why won't we use them? Why won't we allow them function the way they should function and give us returns for our investment? Because I must praise the president and members of the National Assembly. You know, they were in upbeat mood. They did not spare any efforts in making sure that the estimate, the budget for it was properly passed by the National Assembly. The National Assembly passed it with speed and with minimum argument, because everyone wanted a free and fair election, and the president did not waste time in assenting to the bill. That's credit to him. It shows that he wanted a credible election to be conducted. But I'm afraid on the fields, the functions of the machine or the malfunctions, the malfunctions were man-made. They were definitely not technical, because Nigeria has knowledge. We have people that have knowledge of, you know, ICT, and it was very clear that had these machines been allowed to function, some of the problems we are dealing with now, we will not be dealing with them. So the Beavers machine, the massive participation of the youths in particular, was they are the things that we can take out in this very election.
Okay, like we discussed earlier, we also saw a situation where governors were losing their states to opposition parties, and even losing their those that wanted to become senators. They also lost their positions. What do you think could have been responsible for this swift shift from what we have observed over the years? Yeah.
You see, the problem is this. Many governors now look at the Senate as a retirement, office, for every governor. Must you be a senator after being a governor? And I believe that what we had in this election, perhaps because of the participation of the youths, I must say this, there was a massive earthquake, more than the one in Turkey, but this time in our political setting, strong men lost their strongholds, and I don't know how strong they are still politically, and then certain barriers were broken, and people made forays into areas where they have never had any footholds before. And then one of the parties that was deemed not to have had any chance, they shook the political firmament. And this is what we should be looking for. The idea of two-way or two-party election, that might have been broken. Is now I always said it, I say any of the presidential candidates is a potential president, and we shouldn't take anyone for granted. I think politicians have now learned the lesson that you can't take any party for granted, you can't take any candidate for granted. They can't be, if our politicians learned, they would have, look at what happened in Italy, a party that has never won election for about 52 years. A young girl came, and took the stage by storm. What about France? Macron did not really belong to any of the traditional parties. It just a movement, few months to the election, and then he took the stage by storm. So I believe we needed it in Nigeria, and it is very good for us. It's a nice development, and we hope we build on it in this coming Saturday's election.
I was going to ask you if you see it playing out again in Saturday's election.
Yes, I know that some people's enthusiasm have been dampened by maybe some of the misgivings they have about the results. But my counsel is this. This Saturday's election, to me, is even more important than the presidential election. And I'll tell you why. The governors are closer to us than the presidents, and they more directly affect our lives than the big man in Abuja. Now, for us, ours is an off-cycle election in Edo State, so we are not having any election for a governor. So Obaseki is still our governor, and he will remain our governor even after the election. We don't have any election. But the House of Assembly members are going to be elected. And let me tell you something. The House of Assembly members, they make the laws that directly affect our day-to-day living. So it is very important that we go out and vote for who we go to ring roads, because it's very important. They make laws that affect our schools, that affect even religion, that affect land, that affect our markets, that affect many basic things. So there is no reason for us to allow people that we really do not aspire or desire to be there to go there by staying away from the election. Whatever the situation has been, let us go out. Let us fight the battle. Let us put there the people that will work for us, that will speak for us, and that will positively represent us. Not people who just want to go there, to have a title, honorable. Let us really go out massively like we did during the presidential election, or even more, because every politics is local, and this is local politics now.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam.
Good morning. Your name, please?
I am Reverend Mwabuko.
Okay, sir.
Please, I want to contribute to this issue. I saw you in the television.
All right.
Madam, the truth, they say truth is bitter. Truth is not bitter. You understand me? What we are seeing these days is obviously wrong. You are talking of governance.
Hello, Reverend. Are you still there?
Sorry?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, continue. We are listening.
Please, people are tired for the problem of your Nigeria and my Nigeria. There's nothing to record back. There's nothing to emulate. The governors and rest of them, they are just like women or just like dogs that go back to their vomit. They talk and they can't implement it. It's right from federal to the state. Don't worry that maybe wonder why people will not come to the next Saturday election. It is not something to record. I am very Mwabugo. What I'm seeing is very, very uncalled for. My sister, I am more than 60 years. See many things. They are deceiving. Unless things come back as support, like the man was talking there, how other people, other countries just overnight and they get their people that will lead them. We have never get people. And if we want to get people, they cabal, they stop it. What are we saying, my sister? There's no truth in Nigeria. This is my country. I'm worried. I don't pray that God should deal with them. But of course, God is God doesn't kill anyhow. His anger is never born forever. He loves forever. Please, I'm seeing you. People are seeing you. They are deceiving us. What we say, they don't do. They do what they like. So they better select instead of coming to vote. They select themselves. Who will go there? If I come there and vote, my vote will not be counted. Thank you, madam.
Okay, that's, you want to respond to that? Expressing worried, yeah, you know, perhaps someday.
My Reverend, may I appeal to you that in programs like this, I'm a pastor like you too, by the grace of God. Be civil in your language. Don't see elected officers, they are like dogs and they go back to their vomit. That is going too far. Because this station has rules and they are guided by those rules. You have a right to express your grievance. But let me tell you, you have no other country. And there's no other country you go to where you will be a category A citizen. We can't run away from our problems. In our small families, we have squabbles, we have problems, we have injustice, we have things that we do not like. But we must resolve and settle them. And that is the case with this. I want to say this. If you decide not to go and vote, then those people that do not want justice in Nigeria, you are handing Nigeria over to them by your abstention. So I urge you as much as possible, whatever misgiving you may have, your vote will count, and your vote will count one day. It has kind of, you see, if not even because our votes counted, we wouldn't have known that there was injustice. So what I'm saying is that the election has thrown up some areas, and the reason is that you participated. If you didn't participate, we won't know that some of these injustices are there, and they will be addressed. I'm confident.
All right, thank you so much, Barrister Greg. Our callers, we really, really appreciate you, but if you have to call in, of course, you are free to air your grievance, but please be civil in your language. Mr. Shadrach Edo, I think you want to probably say one of the words.
Yes, the point has been made. We must keep hope alive.
Yes.
There's nowhere in the world, I have mentioned earlier, where you have a perfect system. We must continue to engage. As I tell people, we must continue to engage the system to get the nation that we desire. We cannot expect that we will sit back and we'll just get it overnight. It doesn't work that way. We must engage.
Yes.
Elsewhere that we try to emulate. Daddy mentioned France.
Yeah.
Macron, the party that brought him to power, he formed it a year before he became president. The platform that brought him to power, he formed it. These are young persons that have dared to engage the system. They didn't sit back and say and complain. So we must continue to engage. Hopefully one day we'll get it right.
Okay, I was going to ask you if we're talking about engagements now, like he expressed some worry about turnout in the coming elections.
Yes.
Did your engagement with the youths, did it stop with the presidential and national assembly elections, or did you continue even as we look forward to another elections on Saturday?
We have continued to. We observed after the presidential elections that a lot of young persons expressed disappointment, and they were no longer interested in engaging the process. We have continued to encourage them, to advise them, to counsel them of the need to engage. As has been made, the point that has been made, if we decide to stay back, we are handing over, inadvertently handing over the process to these persons. So we cannot afford to have that. So we must continue to engage the system.
Exactly.
Also, the point also has been made that this coming election is much more even important because it is closer to the people.
Yes.
These House of Assembly members that we are going to elect on Saturday, they make the laws that directly affect us in the various states. So we cannot afford to leave it to charlatans. We must go there and engage with the hope that we will get a nation that will work for us all.
Okay, and Barrister, we know the circumstances. Hello, do we have a caller? Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Yes. I just want to make my...
Please, sir, your name and where you're calling from.
Benin. Yes. Yeah, you see, what happened the last Saturday, the only thing that gave integrity, that should have given integrity to that election was the transmission of the election result from the source, on the roots, the ground where people voted. Having destroyed that part of it, one would find it difficult to still have confidence, because it appeared that it was deliberately done, because those who were in the end of affair promised us several times that that was going to be done. And that was what gave many of us that confidence to come out and vote. Otherwise, we always know that right results are always be the other way in Nigeria. But that one that they did on Saturday was what gave us, transmitting, was what gave us the confidence to come out to vote. But having done that, one have lost confidence. And secondly, the issue that we have no control over our own. The people who are leading us, when they are sick, they travel abroad. When they want to enjoy that, they travel abroad. They don't value this country. They are not the guys of this one.
Okay.
Did we lose that?
We are not in practice. We're not doing it. Thank you very much. That's my conclusion.
All right. Thank you very much. Though we didn't hear the last part of his call, but I think you want to so much of talk about encouraging people to come out for Saturday's election. Of course, the issues surrounding Edo State House of Assembly here.
What I want to say is this: there was an attempt to subvert the will of the people, and that attempt is being resisted. So the process has not been concluded, and election is only concluded if maybe the candidates they decide to surrender their mandate or agree with whoever is the winner, or the courts that look into it, they give a final judgment. And we know some of these matters go up to the apex court. So till that is done, we cannot say they succeeded. So, and whoever is aggrieved, like we have said, you can protest peacefully, not violently, because violence will not retrieve your mandate. And then also you can go to courts and then try to retrieve your mandate.
Hello. Hello, good morning. Okay, Barrister.
So, from what you were saying, it's as if they have done what they want to do. We have gone to court. The court has agreed with them. No, that is not the situation. I know that there are some candidates in the election who are challenging the outcome of the election. And let us allow that process to run full circle before we say this is what happened or this what did not happen. For now, this is what was trying to happen. And let us leave it at that. And I plead with everyone, this House of Assembly election, because there's one thing, whether you participate in voting or you do not participate, the laws they make, they are binding on you. They are binding on you in the markets, in the church, at your building sites, in the schools. They are binding on your children. They are binding on parents. They are binding on teachers, at the hospitals. So what we are saying is this: let us not surrender our mandates to other people. Go there and vote. Cast your votes, and then let your voice be heard. Because you cannot be seen to be complaining when you did not participate in the election. So this election is the one. The other one was everybody's own. This one is the one that is your own. You know, because they make laws that affect you directly. How your streets will look, where it will go, how you will build, how our markets will be run, how our schools will be run, even church. Please, it is very, very important that we go out and we vote, because those men at Ring Road, they are the ones that make the laws that directly affect us. So let us go out massively.
When you said those
vote.
men, when you say those men at Ring Road, you know, one would think that probably you're talking about Puwab or something. So perhaps
No.
be specific when you say those men at Ring Road. That you are saying that those men that will be in the Anthony Enahoro complex at Ring Road.
Thank you for the correction. Correction taken.
All right.
The Anthony Enahoro complex, the State Assembly members.
Okay.
Please, let us go out and participate.
Hello. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, please. Your name and where you're calling from?
I'm the same who called today. Please, as you are on the table they are discussing, I'm not to try to against anybody, but the truth is this, that you can see the money we are talking of now. Supreme Court have said, but the Central Bank don't say, and the Buhari don't say. Supreme Court and Central Bank and the who's senior? The Central Bank have been there before they elected, and they will see the same. Supreme Court has been there before they come in, and the Supreme Court will do it before they go. What I'm trying to say, they have, you know, as you are talking, I don't know where I am. You don't know where other people are. They are somewhere discussing what to do in absence of what we are voting for. You can see, say, like the pastor said that he is a pastor like me. Truth is a pastor like me. If you vote, they will do what they will do. If you don't vote, they will do what they will do. My sister and my colleague there, see, it is true, nobody can break this card. Who will come out and stand? You see, the Nigeria is just like a good Samaritan, very good Samaritan. The other one come, oh, sorry, oh, this man, I beg, oh, who do this, he pass away. Of course, if you render help, the police will ask him, how do you come about? Where? The first one come, the second one come. The third one, who is God-led? How can we get God-led in this assembly, in this government, in this federal? The good Samaritan, the last one, take care and do all you could. If you go to the hospital and tell the hospital, take care.
All right, Barrister Greg and Mr. Shadrach.
Yes. Well, from what he's saying, I think we must leave the level of lamentation really, and begin to see what we can do to make our nation better for us. We all know what the issues are. If we begin to talk from today till next year, we'll have a lot to talk about. One must leave that level and begin to see how we provide solutions. And one way of providing solutions is by engaging. You engage. While you engage, you see where the loopholes are, you see how to block them and make the system better. The fact he mentioned about the friction between the executive arm of government and the judiciary is an indication that we don't have a perfect system yet. That is why it's still a pointer to the fact that we must continue to engage. Okay, look at elsewhere in America during the last elections, where the former president was challenging the result of the elections because they had a system that worked. The system eased him out, okay, because they have a system that works. But we are not there yet. That's why we must continue to work towards getting to that level where we have a system where everybody, no man will be bigger than the system. The system regulates all to such an extent that wherever anybody belongs, the system will place you there. We must get to that point. But we cannot get there by lamentations and complaining. It is by action, by engaging, doing what is expected of us to bring it to be.
Okay. Let's go to the streets now. Let's hear what people are saying about what politicians can take away from the presidential and National Assembly elections.
We should be able to learn from what happened in this past election, that the days of buying votes is over. They should not go to the pool to start bribing electorates. Electorate are now very wise, and they understand very well that it will be wrong to give vote to somebody who has no credibility.
From the beginning of their primaries, there was the issue of structure. What I would advise politicians for the future is that in bringing out your programs, what do the people want? Are you going to be a people-oriented person? Money you might have in getting to the point of being a politician, it's important that you listen to your people, your constituents, and what they are all about. What are their pains? What are their problems? Aligning to that, deliver your message.
It's not all about the structure, because the structure does not really matter at this specific present dispensation. Why? Because unknown persons, they really won. Even if you look at the House of, in the Senate, in the National Assembly, people you never expected, they won the election.
All right, Barrister, you want to add 1 or 2 words to that?
Yes, I still want to encourage people to go out and vote this very Saturday, and also to see that their voice was heard loud and clear in the last election. Let's even make it louder in this coming Saturday election. And please eschew violence. Eschew violence. Violence does no man good. All Edo people, let us go out and vote for the mayor that will occupy Anthony Nahoro complex. It is very, very important that we come out and do that. And let us have hope. And let me say this, the cash situation we ease is already easing. You know, the Supreme Court judgment was on Friday, and it was weekend. So work didn't take place Saturday and Sunday. So work started on Monday. Yeah. And getting those notes from where they are to where they should be and then getting to our hands will take some bit of time. I guess in the next few days, the cash crunch would have eased considerably.
All right, Mr. Shadrach.
Yes. The point has been made. We counsel that people should go out there on Saturday and engage the process with the hope that things will work out for us.
Okay. Yes. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for your time on Midweek Connect. But today is International Women's Day, so I'm not going to let you go without saying one or two words to our mothers, women out there, you know.
Women, we want to see more of your participation in politics. All over history, women have always been discriminated against, but you can liberate yourself. For instance, women in Greece, it was democracy for the men. Women were never allowed to vote. Some people may not know this. Even in the US, not until 1926 were women allowed to vote. And it was only in one state, the state of Wyoming. The Jews never allowed the synagogue to come unless there were 10 men. Even if you had 1,000 women, they wouldn't allow a synagogue to start. But thank God that Christ came, the seed of the woman, and he changed all that. So women, I want to say, this nation has produced a Conjoy Weala, has produced very notable women, and I believe that you have liberated yourself. God has liberated you. So go out there. I want to see a woman vying for the presidency. I want to see a woman with the ticket of a party, vying for president. It can happen. Hillary Clinton did it. You can do it.
Mr. Shadrach.
The world historically has always been patriarchal, but things are beginning to change. This space is beginning to open up. Daddy just took us through history. Okay, I think things are beginning to get better. Today, the chairman of the National Council of Nigeria, Edo State, is a woman. People should know that. It's a woman that is the #1 youth in Edo State as we speak today.
Yes.
It is an indication that things are changing. It is our hope that more women will make themselves available.
Yes.
Okay, for me, I think the challenge is that a lot of women are not engaging the system. Yeah. I think with the last elections, Abuja produced a female senator. Okay, that is an indication that things can happen if you make yourself available. So my counsel to women is that you make yourself available and the world is yours. You can achieve great things. Yes. God bless women.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Shadrach, and of course, the Barrister Greg Iyayi. Thank you for your time on Midweek Connect. Yeah, to all women, NTA celebrates you. Thank you for holding fort at work. Thank you for the work you do in the home front. Thank you for making society better. Happy International Women's Day. Bye.